Start with.
Good morning to everyone present here. My team members and I are here to give a presentation on Coca Cola, a media of advertising. Next slide, please. So, an introduction to my team members, first of all. That's me, Srinath Kotian, Ritik Naik, Srinidhi Shetty, and Ganesh Swam. Next slide, please. So the topics that we'll be covering in this presentation would be history and evolution. How did they first sell Coke? Print media and in-film advertising, television advertising, guerrilla marketing, social media advertising, objectives of Coca-Cola campaigns, and matrix for measurement of performance. Next slide, please. So the first slide, history of Coca-Cola, would be covered by Ganesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinit. So I'll be talking about the history of Coca-Cola and evolution. So it all started in the year 1886. The drink was founded by John S. Pemberton, and the first glass was served at Jacob's Pharmacy in downtown Atlanta. And if you know, the company's bookkeeper, Frank M. Robinson, suggested the name Coca-Cola. So that's how the drink got its name. In the year 1892, Asa Griggs Candler had secured complete ownership of the business. He finalized the purchase of Coca-Cola and took personal control of the formula and patents of the drink from John S. Pemberton and his partner. And he also incorporated the Coca-Cola Company in the year 1892. In the 1899, the first bottling agreement was done. Rights to bottle Coca-Cola in most of the United States was sold by Asa Candler to Benjamin F. Thomas and his partner of Chattanooga, Tennessee. In the year 1912, the company's first expansion into Asia. So bottling operations started in Philippines. So that's how was the expansion into Asia. In the year 1990, the company was sold to Ernest Woodruff. So after the retirement of Asa Candler in the year 1960, the company was purchased by a group of investors led by Ernest Woodruff for $25 million. In the year 1928, Coca-Cola begins its long-term association with the Olympic Games. It sponsored the first Olympic Games in 1928 in Amsterdam. Next slide, please. Evolution of Coca-Cola. So during its first year, Coca-Cola sold 9 glasses per day, and now it is one of the most highest selling soft drinks in the world. In the year 1900, under Candler's leadership, sales rose from about 9,000 gallons of cola syrup in 1890 to 3,70,877 gallons in 1900. In 1990, new markets opened up for Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola sold its first drink in East Germany, so that was the entrance in East Germany for the very first time. In the year 2005, the company introduced Coca-Cola Zero. A zero-calorie cola with the similar taste of Coca-Cola was made its debut. In the year 2011, the company celebrated 125 years of brand Coca-Cola since its beginning in 1886. In the year 2020, the company reported revenue of $33 billion for the year 2020 fiscal year and a decrease of 11.5% from the previous year. Next slide, please. Logos. So these are the logos of several logos of Coca-Cola changed over the years. And as you can see on your screen, in the year 2007, the classic logo of Coca-Cola still remains the same and it hasn't changed since then. Next slide, please. Types of media used to promote Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola uses print media, under which newspaper and magazines are there. In outdoor advertising, they use billboards, posters, guerrilla marketing, and transit media. They also use television ad to promote their products. And under social media, they use YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to promote. Thank you. That's it from my side. And the next slide will be explained by Ritik.
Thank you. As my friend Ganesh already introduced you all to bottle shapes, now I would like to elaborate a little more on it. How did they first sell Coke? It was not until March 12, 1894, the Coke was first sold in bottles. Originally developed as a non-addictive substitute for morphine, then marketed as a non-alcoholic temperance drink. Coca Cola was invented by John Pemberton, a druggist in Columbus, in 1886. Second, first bottle was designed in 1915. It was designed by Root Glass Company. The bottle designer Earl R. Dean and his team decided to base the bottle design on soda's two ingredients, the coca leaf and the cola nut. Dean couldn't find any photographs of either, but became inspired by the coca pod and transformed the shape of the pod into a bottle. However, the prototype never made it to production since its middle diameter was larger than its base, making it unstable on conveyor belts. Then Dean changed the design within 24 hours, and then it was approved for molding and received patent in November 1915. Bottle shapes evolution. After 1916, the bottle shape first got changed in the year 1957, and then in 1961. And then in 1994, Coca-Cola introduced plastic control bottle, the bottle which you know today. After that, in 2007, they introduced a control aluminum can to select markets, designed by Turner Duckworth. We can see the evolution of the contour bottle from 1916 to today in the photo below. Next slide, please. Yeah, print media and in-film ads. Print advertising means advertisements that are printed in hard copy in publications like newspapers, magazines, journals, and they are likely to be read by your target audience. Is print media still effective? Print media is still a more effective medium if you want to build trust on your brand. It's also a powerful driver of website visits since almost 30% of consumers who notice a print eventually visit advertisers' web page. Moreover, newspapers ads can help you target a demographic of young adult readers. First ad in newspaper. Coca-Cola's very first ad was published in the Atlanta Journal newspaper on May 29, 1886. A few short weeks later, the drink was first served in Jacob's Pharmacy. The ad featured one of the longest running slogans, delicious and refreshing. In the mid 1890s, the Coca Cola Company hired Masangili Advertising of Atlanta in film ads. Some of the brand's movie roles have been particularly iconic in the movies like Doctor Strange in 1964, Superman in 1978, The Gods Must Be Crazy in 1980, E.T. the Extraterrestrial in 1982, and recently Coca Cola was featured in every episode of the series named Stranger Things, receiving an exposure of worth $1.5 million in the first 3 days of its release. The pictures can be seen on the screen. So that's it from my side. Thank you, and the further slide will be explained by Srinidhi.
TV advertisement. TV advertising means conveying a message, typically to market a product or service. Coca Cola's first TV ad aired on Thanksgiving Day 1950. The commercial starred Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy and was part of a Thanksgiving television special. The next video is the first TV ad.
What are you doing here? You ought to be outside with the rest of the kids.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma of roast turkey, I concur.
No, Ray, I was talking about the kitchen. It looks like a real center of hospitality.
Did you say hospitality?
Uh-huh.
That's one thing we're always prepared for around here. Help yourself.
Wouldn't this be a good time for you and your guests to have Coca-Cola, too?
Yes, and Coca-Cola is so delicious, so refreshing, so tempting to any guest when you bring out those familiar bottles with tiny beads of moisture running down their frosty sides, assuring you that the Coke inside is really ice cold. And the good, the gracious, the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day all the year around, no matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in. And one of the easiest, simplest, and surest ways in the world to be prepared for hospitality is to have plenty of Coca-Cola in your refrigerator, ice cold and ready to serve all the time. It's a wonderful way to say to folks, so glad you came. Welcome anytime.
Guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing is an advertising strategy in which a company uses surprise or unconventional interactions in order to promote a product or service. Taking the theme of sharing to another level, Coca-Cola pulled publicity stunts involving modified vending machines, taking people by surprise and filming their reactions for the world to see. These are few of the examples where Coca-Cola used guerrilla marketing. The next slide will be explained by Srinath.
Thank you, Srinidhi. So I'll be covering the social media advertising of Coca-Cola. These are the 4 major platforms that they operate on. Next slide, please. So first, I'll be talking about the most trending and booming social media platform, Instagram. Coca-Cola has 2.7 million followers and over 250 posts on their Instagram page, and they have very well tapped this market. One of the most peculiar campaigns by Coca-Cola was in the early year of 2013. They released 150 most common UK names and attached them on the stickers of their bottles. So people actually went out to the stores to look for their names in the bottles. Next slide, please. So these bottles were not only sent to for the people, but also sent to celebrities for them to endorse this campaign. Next slide, please. And Coca-Cola didn't stop there. They also added these names of famous cities and tourist destinations on the bottles. So this was aimed at sharing a personalized Coca-Cola bottle for each and every one. Next slide, please. Now coming to Facebook. So with over 100 million fans on Facebook, its engagement is comparatively higher now than before, because usually before they used to upload only 2 posts in a month, but now it's a minimum of 2 posts a week. Next point is publicity. So they mainly have these publicity stunts by encouraging their fan interaction by mainly operating through ads, endorsements, Facebook apps, and games. These games are as easy as fill in the blanks, which hardly takes seconds for their audience to answer. Next point is fan pages for its products. So they also have fan pages for their products like Coca-Cola, Coke Zero, and Diet Coke. Next slide, please. So as you'll see, they also repost the posts made from the creative posts made by their audiences. Next slide, please. Now coming to YouTube. So YouTube was the first social media platform that Coca-Cola joined. Their first ever YouTube channel went live on January 1, 2006. They currently have 3.7 million subscribers with millions of views on each and every video. They mainly operate through YouTube ads, online ads, and banners. They also have and they conduct live forums for their fans to share their own Coke stories. Next slide. So this is a video which is a very famous Indian video by Coca-Cola.
sunshine वाली आशा, रोने की वजह कम है, हंसने के बहाने ज्यादा, जिद है मुस्कुराएंगे, खुश रहने का है वादा, उम्मीद वाली धूप, sunshine वाली आशा,
So the large platform is Twitter. With 3.3 million followers, Coca-Cola has tweeted 1,43,000 times on Twitter, which makes it one of the most active amongst its competitors. They primarily use Twitter to respond to their mentions rather than unnecessary marketing spams, which makes it stand out from the other competitors. So the large platform is aware of this very recent incident with one of the most famous footballers in the world, that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, it was named Ronaldo effect. So I'll just give you a brief about what exactly happened. So during a post-match conference, wherein Coca-Cola was one of the sponsors, Coca-Cola usually offers their athletes bottles of Coke alongside a bottle of water. So Cristiano removed aside two bottles of Coca-Cola and raised the bottle of water, saying agua, hence promoting water. So now this gesture by Cristiano Ronaldo caused a $4 billion loss for Coca-Cola. That is a drop from 242 billion to 238 billion, which is a 1.6% drop on their stocks. But a very spectacular move played by Coca-Cola was by tweeting everyone is entitled to their drinks preference, and also that everyone has their own tastes and needs. So this was done to avoid any kind of hassle or misunderstanding and to prevent further any kind of harm towards their brand image. Next slide, please. This slide would be covered by Srini. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrinath. I'll be talking about the objectives of Coca-Cola. Awareness. Creating awareness of the company and its product. This specific marketing objective is pursued by the company as a secondary objective. This is because the company already has a high level of brand recognition and its limited range of products is widely well known within the countries of the companies operating. Second, short-term sales. Increasing short-term sales by the means of stimulating action. Seasonal and other sales are often introduced in major supermarkets, and relevant information is communicated to the potential and existing customers. Reassuring customers. Reassuring customers and reinforcing their particular desirable buying behavior. This type of marketing objective is pursued through integrating the consumption of drink to the lifestyle of the customer, thus achieving their lifelong loyalty. The next slide will be explained by Shrima.
Thank you, Srinidhi. Now coming to matrix for measurement of performance. The first point is customer loyalty. So Coca-Cola seems to be highly successful when it comes to handling their customer, which is why most of their customers are regular consumers of their products. So it was said that on an average, more than 10,000 soft drinks were sold per second each and every day. Next point is market share. So when evaluated, Coca-Cola performs outstanding with respect to its return on investment, that is ROI. It's sold in more than 200 countries, which very well proves its evidence of success. Third point, revenue generated. So Coca-Cola's profitability as a result of their effective strategies is very well spoken by the numbers. Their net income for the fiscal year 2019-20 was US dollars 8.92 billion. Next slide, please. So with this, we come to the end of our presentation. Thank you for being such good listeners.